Welcome to a new episode of Diagram Dazzles. What's in store for today? Here is the reproductive system of the male and the female frog. So these are the NCERT textbook diagram. Moreover, we'll probe in this session about the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system is also called as urogenital system. Why? Because you can see it is closely associated with the excretory organs, kidney, which has also got the adrenal glands, and then you can see the urinary bladder there. Coming on to the sex organ, the primary sex organ is the testis. The accessory ducts are the vasa efferentia, which carries the sperms via the Bidder's canal, stores it in the seminal vesicle, and finally the longer duct called as urinogenital duct carries it to the cloaca to the outside through the cloacal aperture. So let us start with the tricks. Always start with an outline. Here the outline comprises of 3 spindles which are connected to each other. 2 of them erect, one of them, the third spindle, has to be drawn obliquely on the lower end. Next, develop association. When you draw this diagram, you can definitely relate to the human excretory system comprising of the similar parts. But remember, when you do the drawing and then the detailing, the kidneys are not to be drawn as bean-shaped structures but as elongated lobe-shaped structures. And then do all the labelings as it is shown. So let us start with the diagram. So let us start with the outline. 2 erect spindles, as you can see, this is for the kidneys, and the third one which lies obliquely. Yes, and then also connect them with the 2 lines as indicated. Since this is the outline, preferably draw them very light. After that, develop first on the kidneys. So kidneys has to be drawn elongated, the first kidney, and then similarly draw the next one. Once you draw the kidney, remember, unlike the human kidneys, it has a longitudinal adrenal gland, an adrenal gland which runs longitudinally. So draw the adrenal gland like simple parallel lines running on the kidney. After that, develop on the fat bodies which are to be drawn like flame structures. So here it has around 5 to 6 lobes, so draw them as flame like structures on the top of the kidney, both right and the left. Next, come to the urogenital duct. So develop on the lines which you have already drawn. As you draw, connect these ducts, make them double line and connect them to the third spindle. It should be shown entering the third spindle. Likewise, draw it for the right hand side kidney. This is the urogenital duct. The next important part which we are going to draw is obviously the cloaca, which has to be developed on this lower, the third spindle. So draw it as a elongated structure and then show the cloacal aperture. So the cloacal aperture is at the lower end and it forms a common opening for both the urine as well as the sperms. Once this is done, also draw the urinary bladder associated. So draw it like an inverted heart on the lower side, opening up to the cloacal chamber. So this is the basic outline which you will have to keep not only for the male reproductive system but also for the female reproductive system of the frog. Now let us manipulate this diagram slightly and draw in specific the male reproductive system. So when you start with the ducts emerging from the kidney. Gently darken them, both of them, and these represent the seminal vesicles which store the sperm. After that, the one on the left has to be drawn, dotted, and then enter the cloaca. So this indicates it's entering from behind. So this one is a urogenital duct. Next, start with the testis. So testis has to be drawn oval attached to the top part of the kidney. Remember, the one on the left, the first testis, in fact, you need to gently shade it because this one you're seeing it from the exterior. Another one towards the right, you are drawing it in section. So all the fat bodies and the overlapping part of the kidney has to be erased off gently. Also erase off the adrenal gland which you have drawn inside the kidney. Next, when you show the section of the testis, first partition it into half and then draw tiny wavy lines running close to each other. These represent the seminiferous tubule. After this, let us draw the vasa efferentia. When you draw the vasa efferentia, draw a series of slanted lines, preferably 8 in number, and they should be shown emerging into the kidney. Connect them alternatively, and this is the vasa efferentia. Next, importantly, the vasa efferentia leads into the Bidder's canal. So the Bidder canals should be drawn with the parallel lines on the either side of the kidney and then make it into a ladder shaped structure. To begin with, draw the steps of the ladder with equidistant drawn double lines and then also connect them intermittently or alternately like this. So once that is done, darken this connections which you have done to give it a just enhancement. Similarly, draw it on the either side. So here you can see the Bidder's canal completed. Next, we'll go ahead with the right side wherein you have drawn the intact testis. Similarly, draw slanted lines as you did it for the left side of the kidney and connect them intermittently or alternatively. The adrenal glands here should be shaded as shown, and then with this we have completed the entire section of the male reproductive system. Now we go ahead with the labels. The fat bodies first, then the kidney, adrenal gland and the rectum. Also, the urinary bladder has to be shown. Testis is the primary sex organ. Vasa efferentia leads to the Bidder's canal and then seminal vesicle stores the sperm, ending with the urogenital duct which leads to the cloaca and then the external through the cloacal aperture. So this diagram is quite simple and easy to draw.